Welcome to Avant Supermarket Group's Safety Training Program. This program is designed to provide safety information related to your store. This program will cover fire protection in all areas of your store. Operations at your location may be slightly different. If you have any questions or concerns following this program, consult your direct supervisor or store manager. A fire can be a devastating loss to your business or job. In this training program, we are going to discuss the proper use of fire extinguishers, the fire suppression system in the kitchen, the fire sprinkler system in your building, and a few other issues. Contact your supervisor if you're unsure of your building's type of fire protection. This course will cover fire protection issues you may encounter in your store. We will discuss the different types of fire extinguishers used in a grocery store. Not everyone has used a fire extinguisher. Proper operation of a fire extinguisher is very important. If your store has a kitchen with cooking, then you'll need to know about the fire suppression system located in the vent hood. Some buildings you work in may have a sprinkler system to prevent a total loss as well. Additionally, exits and egress are important in the event of a fire. We will cover each of these areas. Your store may be different. If you have any questions or concerns, contact your supervisor or manager. Let's get started. Let's start with fire protection. There's a national fire code that governs the rules of fire safety. The code states every building should have a fire extinguisher for every 3,000 square foot of floor space and should be able to be reached within 75 foot of travel. The fire extinguishers should be mounted and marked to be found easily. You should always know where your fire extinguishers are. If part of your job includes handling of flammable liquids, they must be stored outside. Keeping them inside is a fire hazard. Most stores also have a designated smoking area. Be sure to have an appropriate receptacle for cigarette butts. Leftover cigarette butts can result in a fire. Let's cover some general information about fire extinguishers. Fire extinguishers come in many different sizes and they are rated in pounds. Every fire extinguisher is required to be inspected by a licensed company on a yearly basis. Additionally, the fire extinguisher should be checked monthly to ensure the fire extinguisher has maintained its charge and is ready for use. If you find an empty fire extinguisher or one that's damaged, notify your supervisor immediately. There are several classes of fire extinguishers. We're going to talk about the classes that will be used in your store. Class A fire extinguishers will put out fires of ordinary combustibles such as wood and paper. Class B extinguishers are used for flammable liquids like grease, gasoline, and oil. Class C extinguishers are suitable for use only on electrically energized fires. And Class K extinguishers are designed for use on cooking oils in commercial cooking operations. A, B, C, and K fire extinguishers are commonly found in retail stores. Occasionally, a CO2 fire extinguisher is used in an electrical or compressor room. Water extinguishers are found in some of our older stores. If you find one of these, make sure not to use it on a cooking oil fire. Using the wrong extinguisher can actually spread a fire. For instance, an ABC fire extinguisher can spread a cooking oil fire. And as we all know, water and oil don't mix. If you're unsure of which fire extinguisher to use, be sure to contact your supervisor or manager. Many of us have never used a fire extinguisher. If you've never used a fire extinguisher, here's an easy method to remember. The PASS method is commonly referred to when training for fire extinguishers. PASS. Pull the pin, aim the nozzle at the base of the fire, squeeze the handle, and sweep back and forth. If you're not comfortable operating a fire extinguisher, call 911 and evacuate the area. Let's recap real quick. The PASS method. Pull the pin, aim the nozzle at the base of the fire, squeeze the handle, and sweep back and forth. If you have any questions concerning the operation of a fire extinguisher, contact your supervisor or manager. The ventilation hood in the kitchen is designed to catch grease-laden vapors from your cooking equipment. The hood has baffle-type filters that can be removed and cleaned on a regular basis. The hood is also required to be cleaned professionally. The time frame depends on how much you use it. Grease can accumulate inside the hood past the filters and becomes a fire hazard. This is the reason for professional cleaning. Let's move on to the kitchen fire suppression system. If a fire is going to start, it's likely going to start in the kitchen. The fire suppression system is an important part of fire safety for your store. This system is designed to rapidly suppress hot oil fire and cool the cooking surfaces with a wet chemical agent. The system can be manually activated at a pull station or will automatically activate when the heat from the fire is high enough. The fire suppression system is installed inside of the ventilation hood. Each piece of cooking equipment should have a nozzle located directly above it. Do not move the equipment from underneath the nozzle. This could significantly affect the ability of the system to put out the fire. A fire suppression system must be inspected every 6 months by a licensed contractor. Here's an illustration of how a typical system would be set up. Take note of each of the particular parts of this system. If you have any questions about how this works, contact your supervisor or manager. In the event of a fire, call 911 first. If you're not comfortable operating the fire equipment, evacuate the area immediately. If you are comfortable, locate the nearest Type K fire extinguisher. If this extinguisher does not put out the fire, activate the fire suppression system at the manual pull station. If the fire is still active, remove yourself and others from the area. A fire sprinkler system can significantly reduce the possibility of a total loss. Not all buildings have a fire sprinkler system installed. If your store does, you should be aware of how it operates. The system is designed to activate when a sprinkler head is triggered. A sprinkler head is triggered by heat or flame directly to the sprinkler head. The system does not fully activate in the event of a fire, only the sprinkler head that's affected. Sprinkler heads are designed to activate at a particular temperature. Some direct the water in a particular pattern or direction. The head may be pointed in any direction, so if you see one that looks different than another, there's probably not anything wrong. Do not touch, strike, or paint a sprinkler head. This can affect its proper operation. Never stack any items within 18 inches of a sprinkler head. This can impede the water flow, preventing the fire from being put out. If you notice any problems with your sprinkler system, contact your supervisor or manager immediately. Here are some images of sprinkler heads, a sprinkler valve, emergency lights, and a fire alarm pull station. You may see some of these throughout your building. If you have any questions or notice any problems with any of these items, please contact your supervisor or manager. The last part of fire protection that we are going to discuss are exits. Your store may have several ways to exit the building. Be sure never to block a doorway or exit with equipment or freight. All exits must be marked with a lighted sign above the door. Lastly, exits must remain unlocked during business hours. If you notice any exit signs that are not lit or doors that are locked, please contact your supervisor or manager immediately. Thank you for viewing Avant Supermarket Group's safety training series on fire protection. If you have any additional questions or concerns, please contact us at losscontrol@avantsupermarketgroup.com.